Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Dylan D, and it just so happens to be my birthday today, so I thought it would be a perfect time to launch a brand new mini-series that's very special to me. How to build giant robots in Minecraft. Now, this is a tutorial series, but this tutorial series might be a little different than what some of you may be used to. If I were to stop and build all of these machines block for block, we'd be sitting here for a few hours, and the most anyone would learn is that my stutter gets pretty repetitive. Now, instead, I will break down each individual part of each build shown and show you how each segment works and functions. Seeing all these blocks together at once can be confusing, but never fret. I'll be making all of the legs shown here into brand new, fully weaponized robots, and I'm taking you guys along for the ride to show you how I go about building these giant slime block robots in Minecraft. Now, I have some really fun ideas on what I could do for all these robot legs, but I'd also really enjoy hearing your guys' ideas as well. So feel free to leave a comment with your idea on what you think I should build for any of these robot legs. Each video after this, though, will just add another segment of the robot. Part 2 will be structure and switch placing, which just places the cockpit where you wish it to be and how to set switches and triggers from the location if you want your robot to be a certain way or to have a certain shape or a certain look. And part 3 may be a few episodes in length, but will be the overall explanation of how to go about weaponizing your robots with the block space you have provided yourself in your build. And lastly, if you're really interested in these types of videos, please subscribe. Your subs and likes help my channel flourish. The more subs, the bigger the robots I will make tutorials for. I've asked Cubehamster if I may do a tutorial on his Gargantua, so we'll see how that goes. And I would also, in the future, enjoy making a survival series where I set out to build massive robots, but without all of the in-between boring stuff. A straight, to-the-point, action-packed survival series. And possibly a role-playing series down the line as well, because I really do enjoy telling stories. But other than all of that, you guys, let's jump straight into it. Now, welcome to step 1 of building giant robots in Minecraft, and that is legs and their respective engines. First up, let's talk quick mechanics on the legs everyone I'm sure is used to. The legs for Cubehamster's Atlas mech suit. This pattern of up one block, forward one block, then back down again one block can be mimicked several different ways as you manipulate the piston push-pull limit of the game. But see, everyone already understands this part of the smaller robots. So how do you take something small and make it giant? The secret is in the type of piston extender you use in the hip of the machine. Now, to further explain what it is that I'm talking about here, right here you have the hip of the the Rapticus, and it has a 6-engine cycle. It picks its leg up one block, moves it forward 2 blocks, and then sets it back down. And as you can see here, the other leg, the right leg, as comparing to the left leg here, is set forward 1 extra block to make sure, that it's, opposite the other. So, one leg is on the ground, the other is in the air, etc. This also going in depth here, you can see honestly every single piece of the design as I kind of move through here. This is your double piston extender, is right here, and what it looks like before it is double piston extended is this. And what you're looking at is what will happen is these pistons will be moved forward. One piston will stick to the mass of slime blocks and whatnot, and the other one will push that forward. Then as soon as that one has been pushed forward, the other one will then activate, pushing it forward a second time, and then that will then push it into this redstone block, and then that will extend downward, and this redstone block will touch it as well, which of course Cubehamster covers in one of his ultimate slime block tutorials. But as you can see here, this is what happens when it is moved forward one more block. It will catch up to the pistons here and will fall down. Now, what I mean by engine cycle is how many times how many caterpillar engines it goes through until it returns back to the first engine. Now, what that is this is the first one, then this one and this one are the second one. This is basically just the same thing, and then it moves down here to the third, the fourth, then the fifth. Now, where the sixth and whatnot come in is it drops down. There's other engines underneath this one, but I'll go ahead and do another clip so I can show you the piston pushers and the up and down mechanism of the legs as well, because this literally all this does is push this block around to where eventually this redstone block then drops down and hits more pistons that literally just make the leg drop all the way back down to the ground. Now, as you can see, this one is dropped to where if there was a leg here, it would be touching the ground. This one is up in the air, so if there's a leg here, it would be up in the air. It's actually just that simple, and all this extra stuff on the side is just to, hold on to that redstone block there, and to hold on to that redstone block down there. And it's just simple piston pushers past that point. Alright, so next up I'm going to go ahead and take off everything that isn't the piece of the leg that moves up and down. So no more piston pushers, no double piston extender with that little piece of block that moves around. The only thing I will leave is the claw piece that's actually touching the ground, and that one that's actually one block above the ground, and I will just show you how that extends downward and extends back up. So now that I've taken off everything that was in the way, I guess, you can visually see that honestly the piece that comes up off of the ground and then is moved forward one block and then put back down, or moved forward 2 blocks and then put back down, is not much. What you're seeing here is very simple. You're seeing one redstone block moved into place, then causes this to activate. And once you activate it, it goes back down, all the pistons are extended, and then once it's unactivated, the redstone blocks are moved out of the way, and this block is moved back up. This block here is just to simply activate these pistons down here when it is moved back down, when that redstone block is put back into place. Now, as you can see here, the redstone block before it is moved into place is in this current location. So if the one leg that is down has the redstone block on the top of the piston, and the one leg that isn't down has the redstone block in this exact location. Now that means that it is pushed forward. Now at the same time this is pushed forward 1 block, at the same time this is pushed forward 2 blocks. So that and then eventually catches up to it, and as I mentioned in the previous clip, the little segmented block is pushed down 1 and then over to the side 1, which then it would be into place like how it is shown here, and the leg itself is the piston up here is updated, and the leg itself is sent down to the ground. And the last part of this build that I want to show you here, the last little breakdown step, I will be taking out the double piston extender portion that moves that little portion of blocks downward and puts that redstone block into its location where it needs to be to drop the leg to the ground, and pick it back up, to move it out of location, etc. I'll be taking that out, and I will also be taking the piece out that moves to the ground and then back up, the up and down piece, so that you can only see what pushes those pieces. Now it's literally from the engine, it will push these pieces forward, and all I'm trying to show you is timing wise that you want the bottom little leg piece that extends to the ground and then back up, you want that to move at the exact same time that I guess the hip is moved forward, so it can extend down, and that they will be in the same place at the same time. So when that redstone block extends down, it will drop that foot straight to the ground. So I'll go ahead and take out those pieces for you and explain a little further. Alright, now that I've taken off all those pieces, just really quick to explain forward. What we'll do really quick is just to show you, just to explain a little further on the engine first, and then we'll move into the just the little piston pushers that are coming off of these. To track your engine, if you don't know how, of course, or if you're looking at this like, oh, this is a giant puzzle, all you have to do is take it from here. This is your first piston, and it comes down, and of course it'll branch off both directions, and it comes down this way. Now, I don't know where my head was when I was building this first, but for the Rapticus here, I connected these two engines, so I'm just going to count this as one engine. So this goes one, and then I have two here, and then I'm going to drop down. There's three, and then four, and then that's five up there, and this is also five down here. And the way you can see that is because off of four here it goes two separate ways, and then this is the sixth engine, and this one up here just ends at five. So this top one is the hip of the Rapticus, and what it does is that little piece that moves down, and it moves our redstone block into place and drops our foot to the ground. When it comes down this way, though, piston comes down. Piston engine sets off, comes down this way, and pushes this piece forward. Now what this piece is the section that pushes the Rapticai's little foot that touches the ground and comes back up. That pushes it forward when it is up in the air. Now I left the redstone blocks here to signify what it looks like when it's on the ground. Obviously the pistons will be one block above where they should be, because then when it comes back up, this is where the redstone block should be. They slide underneath and they will push it forward the two blocks needed. Now, moving forward, what we all need to what anyone that wants to build giant robots has to understand is timing. Timing is absolutely everything when it comes to these builds. If that redstone block drops at a certain time that is before the Rapticai's foot is placed into the specific place it needs to be, it won't update properly. The redstone block will be put into place. It won't update the sticky piston, and it'll look like the Rapticus just kind of takes its feet up off the ground and starts hovering around. And obviously it'll look really silly, but we're trying to go for like a walking effect. So if you just go ahead and watch here, follow the timings. Now with the first engine here, we come down, and then we have the second engines, which is just engine number 2, and then engine number 3, engine number 4, and then it branches off. Now engine number 5 branches off into our piston pushers. Now if the rest of this machine was still here, you could count pistons. Now what I mean by counting pistons is motion, movement, timing. How you can get your timing down is a sticky piston will move backward. It will grab this piston and then like unextend back the other direction. Now once it does this, this piston will then push the whole segment forward. That in turn is the equivalent of this piston pushing this forward. This piston then, after being pushed forward, this whole segment, this piston, these pistons here, will then push this segment forward. And so, like, after that, then this one is the third segment here. So we have to count, okay? So one more time, if we count it, the sticky piston moving backwards is one movement. Then it retracting and coming back to itself is the second movement. And then this piston firing off to push forward is our third movement. And the reason we don't count the retraction of this piston is because it's already moved it forward. It's not a sticky piston, so nothing has to move again after that. Like the piston in its own does nothing after it's pushed it forward. It does, retract its own piston, but for the overall machine, that piston is now useless after that third move, after that push forward. Now we have to then, copy that. We have to make sure that this up here can then mimic 3 more moves, and this piston begins that move number 1, and then it's the double piston extender that mimics the rest. And if that makes sense, it's 2 more pistons. And if this was where it was, this first piston here requires our first movement forward. Then since it's this segment, this piston here would then push our second segment. It would be our second movement forward. And then this here, for this segment, would provide our third movement forward, which would then catch the entire machine up if of course, this was up here, and etc., etc. All I'm trying to do in this right now is just explain timings. And as far as that goes, yeah, that's that whole piece. Now, I was able to rebuild Gargantua by watching a video Cubehamster posted a while ago, and I will leave a link to that video in the description. I will be explaining only the front legs since they use the same mechanics as the back ones anyway. Alright, for this explanation, for this first explanation here, I will be trying to explain the mechanics in the hip of the robot. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take out the foot and the piece of like the leg that extends downward and then back up, and then the piston pushers that push all of those pieces forward, and then I'll explain further. Alright, now that I've gone ahead and done that, to further the experience here and to better understand where I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my HUD. Alright, now that I've done this, I can go ahead and explain everything that you see here. Now, this here is the overall mechanic of the build. What you see is, you know, what you want. Go ahead and explain really quick these redstone blocks. Go ahead and move that one, and this one. And as you can tell, this little piece is moved, and this is where it would be if it was up in the air, which is 2 blocks above this one. And then the rest of the machine here with these series of engines that would be updated 3 times would push the whole leg forward 3 spaces, giving the whole machine enough time to catch up to itself. These sticky pistons, like this engine set here, would then catch up to this segment of slime blocks for its triple sticky piston extender. That is right here. It's a triple sticky piston extender, and that's just to help in the process of activating or updating this piston and this sticky piston over here numerous times to make sure that the legs in fact move forward. And that's honestly the secret trick here, are these sticky pistons. Now, just to show you that, once this here is pushed forward, this here, so I'll come over here, is pushed forward, and then you can follow the little trail up here, and it comes down this way, and then to here, and you can tell it runs into this block, which is, you know, updating this engine again. And that drops down this way, and off the side here is your piston pushers, and what pushes it's like what's off to the side, like right here on Gargantua. It's the piston pushers that push like the foot and these little middle segments and whatnot with the movable double piston extenders and whatnot, and for like the shins and whatnot. But to, you know, not make this as confusing as can be, what happens is when that's all pushed together, this block eventually, as you can tell, is pushed. This is pushed forward and is eventually caught up with the piston extenders straight down and hits redstone block there, and then one finally off to the side here, and, you know, extends it all straight down how it needs to be. But yes, literally, what you're looking at here, all the slime blocks and whatnot, are just like puzzle pieces put together to help aid in the movement forward of like this engine here and this engine here, and then all the redstone blocks, this one, and that one, that are also in the hip area. And that is all this excess slime blocks, these excess slime blocks do. This sticky triple piston extender here is to aid in the update of this engine and that engine as well, several times, to make sure that the leg itself moves forward 3 blocks before it is set back down again. And yeah, to configure it, lastly, to configure the entire legs, if you wanted to make it look like it was running like a 4-legged creature, running like a lion, and the front legs would come up and then the back legs, you know, then that makes sense, if that makes sense. If you've ever seen a 4-legged animal run, you know, like sprint, they're running really fast, their front legs move at the same time their back legs do, so instead of just moving one side at a time, what the secret again is in the sticky pistons. As you can see here, this set of sticky pistons is fully extended out this direction, and this set over here is still kind of tucked away into the back. If that's
how you would want it to where it's walking, kind of more slower, like how Gargantua actually walks, like the full-fledged Gargantua. What you would want to do is something kind of like this, but what all you'd want to do is just make sure one side is completely underneath the slime blocks, and the other side would be how that side looks. Like this side, okay, yes, okay. So you'd want this side completely underneath the slime blocks, and then the other side to look like this. And but you know, just the configuration of it, you can mess with it. It's all up. It's like I said before, it's just like a puzzle. Like Cubehamster always says, it's just a giant puzzle to be figured out. And that's literally all there is to it. The engine cycle on this one is so it's a 6 engine cycle, and then it comes back to itself. And then the leg up is it comes up 2 blocks, sent forward 3 blocks, and then it comes back down again 2 blocks. And that is that full piece of this explanation. Moving forward with the explanation, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is blow out the hip on one side, and blow out the hip, and then the piston pushers as well. Now, what this will leave us with is just the leg piece that moves up 2 blocks and then back down 2 blocks. Uh, then once I've done this, I can further explain what it is that I'm trying to get across. Alright, now that we've done this, you can visibly see that what we're left with, just like the Rapticus, is something very simple. What I mean by something very simple is this piece here, once it's of course moved up and then over and then back up again, this leg will retract back up, and then the piston pushers on the side, of course, that are here will push the entire design forward. Now, to best explain what's happening here is it is just an up and down oh gosh, double piston extender. Now, what this does, I mean, literally, you're looking at it. All it does is just push the design down, and then bring it back up again. Um, the only way to further explain this is to build a quick example really fast to show you what's happening. So I'll go ahead and turn on my HUD. Okay, now to further demonstrate what's happening here, what I'll go ahead and do is start off with a block here, and a block there. Then I can go ahead and throw slime blocks across the top of all of those. And now what I want to do is I want to pick this up off of the ground 2 blocks, without blowing out that slime block, of course. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is have my 2 sticky pistons that will pick it up off of the ground. And then I will also have the piston that will update this sticky piston 2 times. So when we put in our redstone block, this is basically how, double piston extenders work. Go ahead and update the first one, and then you update the second one, but how you do that is by updating the first one again. So then you have this, so it's all good to go. So then when you blow out this block, what's going to happen is obviously nothing. So then when you blow out this block, this one's going to come back up. So then what you're going to want to hopefully happen is that this will be re-extended when this is activated twice, because the redstone block isn't destroyed, it's just moved up a block and then moved up another block. And then once it does this and blows out and comes back, both of those are then removed again, and you have the straight up effect. And then to come back this way, you have your redstone block, and then you can just... And lastly, to wrap all this up, I will do kind of the same thing I just did in the previous clip. What I will do is just do it to one leg. I will be taking off everything except for the piston pushers that push the bottom piece of the build forward. Now, I will also then try to explain the entire forward motion of the build. And once I do that, that will literally be the overall explanation for this pair of giant robot legs. So let me go ahead and just take off all those blocks real quick, and we will further this explanation. Alright, now that I've gone ahead and taken out all those blocks, you can go ahead and see the difference here. This is the last little piece of the machine that I haven't shown you, really. What I tried to do here is just show you the connection, like how it all moves. What happens altogether is that when this is pushed forward, it's updated once. This piston here then fires off through a series of connections, and then it winds up in this outer block here, which updates the sticky piston again, which then, as you can see here, will move this all forward. And once it's moved forward, you have also, just to note here, you can tell that the pistons, as you are, gosh, I'm sorry, my stutter. As you can see here, are 2 blocks above the part that will be pushed, and that is just because obviously our double piston extenders here will bring those blocks back up, and we'll be good to go. Now, this overall, this whole design here is by far the most advanced legwork design in Minecraft. Um, with that being said, in no way is this easy or a very formidable what is it, a task to where it's like, oh, I can just do this real quick and then, show everybody, oh, show it off. No, this is a puzzle challenge at its finest. And that I mean by that is that you will, as long as you don't give up, and as long as you literally exhaust all of your options and keep trying, you will get it. And that's just all I can really stress to anyone, is that just don't give up, and you got this. Lastly, before I end off any of this, is the whole reason for everything that I've been doing, all these camera angles and whatnot, is so you can physically pause the video and go in and do whatever you wish, copy it into your world if you'd like, or check out the mechanics if you'd like. You can set up something in your world that looks similar, but that's why I've only tried to go in depth about 2 of the very massive legs here. But yeah, that is going to do it for this entire explanation of these legs after that. But yeah. But that's going to do it for this explanation tutorial segment, you guys. Last thing to mention is that you may choose any engine you wish to power any of these designs. I just used the ones that I thought simplest. I really hope everyone liked this video though, and that it was informative. I hope everyone looks forward to step 2 coming soon, and all the tutorials on the way as well. But until the next video, you guys, later late.